Hello and welcome to Sumo 101 by Luce and Daniel. That's me. I wanted to go over the very basics of sumo, and I didn't want to get it carried away, so I'm really streamlining this. What is sumo? Sumo is the national sport of Japan. It was founded around 2,000 years ago, making it one of the oldest sports in the world. It is, of course, a full contact wrestling sport, and it is a sport full of tradition, which I love. So how does one win a match of sumo? Well, you have two wrestlers who face off. To win, your opponent must either step outside the ring or touch the ring with anything other than their feet. Very basic, but there's many ways to do this. You can like trip them up, flip them, like carry them out, so there's many different ways to achieve these two basic goals. And of course, you always have the situation where you're trying to get your opponent out, but then you step out, and so you lose. It all depends on the situation, There's two basic forms of attack. There's the belt, where the wrestlers grab onto the belt and attempt to throw them down or force them out. Where there's the thrusting, where wrestlers slap and thrust to achieve the goals of winning. Now the belt, I gotta talk about it. It's called a mawashi, and it was traditionally worn to show that the wrestlers weren't carrying any weapons. And in the top two divisions, they're made of silk, and below that, they're made of cotton. And in the top two divisions, wrestlers can pick whatever color they want. Which, very cool. Most pick black, I think. But And I wanted to talk about the divisions. So you have 6 divisions, and this is one big division up here. And I'll talk about this later, but up at the top, you have the yokozuna, then you have the ozeki. So first highest is yokozuna, and second highest is ozeki. Then you have the sanyaku ranks, which are these 2 ranks. Sekiwake, 3rd highest, komusui, 4th highest, and then the maegashira. And basically the maegashira is just like Maegashira 1 west, Maegashira 1 east, going on down from like 1 to about 15, sometimes 16. And then it's pretty similar for these other ranks. You have like Juryo 1 east, Juryo 1 west. Up here, it's pretty limited how many people are in it, but I think in the lower ones, it's much not as limiting. I think Juryo is pretty limiting, the second highest division. And so, tournaments. I want to talk about promotions first, so we'll get back to that. So basically, to get promoted, you need more wins than losses in the tournament setting. So there are 6 tournaments in a year, and they're every odd number month. Each tournament lasts, the top 2 tournaments last for 15 days, the bottom 2 for 7 days. But they spread it out so they both last 2 weeks. It's just that in the bottom ranks, the bottom divisions, they're not wrestling every day. And so basically whoever gets the most wins wins the tournament. But if there's a tie, then there's a playoff. So pretty simple. But to get promoted, you need more wins than losses. If you get more wins than losses, it's called a kachikoshi. When you get into the 2 highest ranks, ozeki, mentioned here, and then the top highest, yokozuna, it's a little bit different. So ozeki, you need 33 wins over 3 consecutive tournaments. So it's kind of difficult, because you got to be consistent, and you got to get double-digit wins 3 tournaments in a row. And then you have yokozuna, and basically you need 2 consecutive tournament wins or the equivalent. And usually the equivalent is like getting runner-up before. So if you're like runner-up and then you win a tournament, that's usually good enough to get promoted, or like the most recent promotion, Kisuno Sato, he was runner-up. Plus, he had an amazing year where he got the most wins in a calendar year, and he had been very consistent, and so they gave it to him, you know. So he met the requirements, but not like the 2 wins per se. And Demotion is pretty similar. You just get more losses than wins, except again for the 2 highest ranks. For Ozeki, basically if you get one tournament with more losses, you have one more tournament. So basically if you get more losses, you're put on probation as an Ozeki, and if you don't get more wins than losses the next tournament, you lose. Well, you get demoted. So basically, an Ozeki, instead of just having one tournament where they get more losses than wins, they have to have 2 tournaments back to back where they get more losses than wins. But even then, they have a sort of get out of jail free card where if they get 10 wins at that next rank, with the next tournament, they automatically get re-promoted. Yokozuna can't get demoted, but the Japanese Sumo Association can like force their hand into retirement, and they're supposed to perform, high level sumo. They're the highest rank, and so they're expected to perform like they're at the highest rank. In tradition, so sumo is very steeped in tradition, as almost everything in the sport has some sort of traditional background. Throwing the salt to purify the ring, clapping, stomping, bowing, many of these things. And I'm going to show you stuff, but there's no emotion in the ring too. I just wanted to mention that as a caveat. Like, after a wrestler wins, they don't like air bump or like air, I forget what they call it, but they don't like celebrate. And a lot of that comes because they're like figuratively killing their opponent, and it wouldn't be right to like celebrate their defeat. Same time, you don't see the defeated wrestler like get angry and like smack the ring or anything like that. And so I went to watch a match. Oh no. And basically, this is day 1. That's the score for. I'm just gonna do this. This is the score last tournament between these 2 guys. And this is Kisuno Sato and Takikaze. Kisuno Sato's a Yokozuna here, the highest rank, and Takikaze is, I believe, a Maegashira 1. And I'm just gonna. So these banners, those are sponsor banners, and they sponsor the match, and they pay money and everything. And so here we have basically their preparation before the match, where they'll be clapping and stomping and also like facing off, and then we have like their record of everything. You'll see a lot of banners because this is his first tournament as a Yokozuna and the first Japanese to become a Yokozuna in 20 years, I believe. And so this is saying that it's sold out, Japanese flag, and you have like this raised roof, which is very symbolic that sumo used to be performed at like shrines and everything. And so there used to be poles, actually, I think in the 90s, but people were complaining that they couldn't see, so they took out the poles. And so you see them throwing salt to like purify the ring. And I'm sure that I might have like a Sumo 201 to go much more in depth with everything, but I just want to give everybody an overview. And an overview wouldn't be complete if we didn't watch some sumo. And not only does this like opening help get them in the mindset, but it also helps to like warm them up. They're performing vital traditions, keeping the sport alive, you know. A lot of times with like the mawashis, the belts, if like a wrestler loses and gets a losing record, they'll change the color and be like superstitious. So you do see them like change the color of their belt from tournament to tournament. Or sometimes if they get promoted to a higher rank, you know, like one of the top 4, you'll see them change the belt colors too. And I'll go much more in depth to like ring names and stuff, I'm sure, in future episodes. And you know, they're about to face off. I just wanted to mention the guy in the ring with the fan. He's the ringside. He's the basically the judge in the ring. But there's also like 5 or 9 other judges outside of the ring who watch the match and who can challenge the ruling of the judge in the ring. And so, let me turn on the basically, to replay that, they go out, they put their hands down, and they wrestle. Very classic. And he points the way of the victor, and they clap. And then there'll be like replays. And important part right here is that all those sponsors, they put their money in envelopes, and he gets the envelopes because he won. That's all the money. Though I think half of it goes to paying the Sumo Association with like taxes and stuff. So that's basically it for Sumo 101. Thank you for watching. Hope you had a great day.